Hi there, I'm Dane, and welcome to my channel where we talk everything software development. In this video, I'll give you my take on the Manifesto for Agile Software Development. We'll talk about how it came to be, the values, and the principles. So let's jump right in. This is the website for the Manifesto for Agile Software Development. I'll put the link in the description, but it's agilemanifesto.org. Let's talk a little bit about how this came to be. So there was a group of individuals who advocated for various software development methodologies, and through discussion on message boards and at conferences, they figured out that some of the stuff that they advocated for was quite similar. So they decided to get together and have a bit of a conference, do some other fun stuff together, and the Manifesto for Agile Software Development is what came out of this. If you want to read a bit more on the details of the history of the Agile Manifesto, or the Manifesto for Agile Development, you can come to the website and click on About the Manifesto, and there'll be a bit of an overview, or maybe a little bit more detailed, on the history of the Manifesto for Agile Software Development. So, as we're looking at this website, I've got the title at the top, and then underneath the title, it says we are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others do it. And I think this is quite an important part of the manifesto. And it's a little bit, maybe there was a little mistake there by them making this piece of text here a little bit smaller than the text in the middle. I think it's quite important that we understand that these people were developing software and they were helping other teams and individuals help do it as well. So part of adopting what you might call an agile methodology is ensuring that we're also doing this. We are also developing software by doing it, actually developing the software, and also helping others do it. What they found is that through the work of doing the software development and helping others do the software development, they figured out that they valued certain things over other things. So individuals and interactions over processes and tools. And what I sort of take from this is that software development is quite a collaborative process. And if you try and put tools and other processes in the way of people talking and understanding and working together, that you can eventually get in the way of those individuals and their interactions, and therefore stop the software development being done in the best way. The next thing is working software over comprehensive documentation. And I think that the creators of this worked during a time where there was a lot of documentation that was created before there was any software created. And if you're building software, then you're trying to get some value out of it. And ideally, you can have some working software early versus having a lot of documentation. And that will allow you to actually get feedback on that working software and change it. Whereas if you do all of the documentation up front, or even if you make a lot of documentation, that documentation becomes out of date and you don't actually have software running. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. So this one, I believe, was done in a time where software development teams were contracted to companies, and there was a lot of time and money and brain power spent getting the client and the customer, or the client is the customer, the client and the software development team or company, to decide on how much they were going to spend and what would be included in all of that, so that each could hold each other accountable. And at the end of the day, they figured out that if you just work together, you will have a better outcome. And the fourth value is responding to change over following a plan. Things change in the world after you build a plan. So being open to that change and reflecting the change in your software is super important. So the next part that they mention is there's value in the items on the right, but they value the items on the left more. And I think what they're trying to say here is you don't throw out the processes and tools. You just think about, if I'm doing something, if I'm making some kind of change, if I'm trying to affect the software development process or the software development way of working, I need to ensure that I'm not sacrificing the individuals and their interactions to implement a process or a tool, and so on and so forth down those values. The other thing that came out of that conference discussion with the creators of this was 12 principles of Agile software. And so if we scroll down and we click on that link, we'll find that software development teams that adopt the Manifesto for Agile Software Development generally follow these principles. Our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. And so we can see how this comes from one of the values that was listed on the previous page. If you can get the software to your customer early and often, then you can get feedback, make changes, and improve it. Welcome changing requirements, even late in development. Agile processes harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. So the point here is that if the software needs to change, it's soft. So it's not hardware, it's soft, so we can change it. And that's the point of writing that software. The world changes on the outside, the requirements change, and we will welcome them because we know that it benefits the customer. Deliver working software frequently, from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, with a preference to the shorter timescale. So this is building on top of the first principle, but mentioning specific timeframes here. And I think that in this time that the Manifesto was created, a couple of weeks for delivering working software was probably something not in the norm. And so they've put that down here to sort of put an underline around how fast is frequently. Business peoples and developers work together daily throughout the project. The big thing here is that I think in those days, developers liked to sit at the computer and write code, and the business people wanted to work on their business things. But in this kind of team, in this adopting this kind of workflow, we need those two groups of people to work together daily, and we will produce better outcomes if we do that. Build projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment and support they need, and trust them to get the job done. So this is really about moving away from a command and control style management structure, and just trust that, or ensure that you have those motivated individuals and give them the support that they need, and they will get the job done for you. The most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation. Sometimes as computer people, we want to write an email or write a document and hand it off to someone, or use an instant message rather than having a conversation. And I think the big part of this is not so much that you're face-to-face in that you can see the other person's face. It's that you are able to get instant feedback and instant clarification on your understanding of what information is going back and forth. And if you're in person with someone, or if you're on a video chat, you can use some kind of drawing tool or whiteboarding tool or a physical whiteboard to draw out your understanding and get confirmation immediately. Working software is the primary measure of progress. So I feel like this one is stating a couple of the previous ones over again, and they're just really underlining that fact. But also they're saying that if you want to measure progress, measure the working software. Agile processes promote sustainable development. Sponsors, developers, and users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. And basically what this is saying is we don't want to have peaks and troughs of productivity or focus time. We don't want people to be working overtime when we're coming up to a deadline, and we should understand that. And the processes that we adopt promote that understanding. Continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility. I think this is quite an important principle, in that if we build software right, then it will enhance our agility, our ability to change our mind, change the direction that the software is going. Simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work not done, is essential. So it mentions the amount of work not done. So this is allowing us to focus time on the work that is important. So simplicity of our software design is one thing, but removing the waste is another thing. The best architectures, requirements, and designs emerge from self-organizing teams. So this also is underlining a previous principle, which is the motivated individuals, give them the support that they need. So encourage those teams to figure out what they need, figure out who they need to talk to and what they need to do. And as they say here, they've been able to observe that the best architectures, requirements, and designs emerge from self-organizing teams. And the last one, at regular intervals, the team reflects on how to become more effective, then tunes and adjusts its behavior accordingly. And so most of us in the industry will probably recognize this as the retrospective. And basically they're saying, if we are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it, then we're going to need to actually start thinking about that on a regular basis. And maybe writing down those changes that we think we need to make. And they adjust the actual, things that we do through those retrospectives. And there could be other ways to figure out this as well. This is definitely going back to that very, very first statement around uncovering ways of developing software. Okay, so that's all of the principles. So I'd just like to say thanks for watching my video here on the Manifesto for Agile Software Development. If you're interested in seeing any more content like this, you can come visit me at Twitch. My link will be in the description below. And if you want to start a conversation with me, you can drop a comment down in the comment section below, or you can tweet me. And the link to my Twitter will be in the description below as well. If you like the content in this video, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more of this kind of content, then please hit the subscribe button. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.